Hello, friends. Hope everyone is well. I'm Steve from Middle Kingdom Fitness, coming to you from the veranda of our house in Surat in Ilocos Norte, Philippines. It is the northernmost province. And it has been a hot one. In fact, it's been a hot week, which is part of the reason why I haven't done as much cardio as I should. Between the fact that it's been very hot, I have the fan blowing directly on me, by the way. Unexpected social engagements, because people here, it's not their culture to plan in advance, and my children will come over. Oh, Dad, we're going to the beach. I don't want to ruin everyone else's good time, so I go along and I skip out on things. Late night dinners. So a lot of things I had a couple of late night interviews. So ultimately, of course, the fact that I didn't do any cardio falls on my hands only. It falls on my shoulders, my broad shoulders. Because I always say that if you want to do it, you'll find the time. So even if I needed to do cardio at 1 in the morning, I should have, and I did not. So I will accept all of the responsibility for it. Meanwhile, my weight is still going down. And I actually think I have no proof, but I just have a feeling that my body is somehow processing food better than it used to, because I'm still losing weight, even though I've been straying from the diet on and off. Oh, by the way, here's my new water bottle, courtesy of ProThin. I do not work for them. I'm not sponsored for them. I don't get a commission in any way from them. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever. However, they're the only supplement company that I order from in the Philippines. It's a Philippine-made brand. It's half as much as all of the imported brands. They have chocolate and vanilla. I think I like the vanilla a little bit better, but for me, supplements are just a tool, as food in many cases, in most cases. So I don't really care if it tastes good or not. In this case, it does taste good, but as long as I'm getting that increased protein, that's fine. I'm okay with that. You know, there are certain foods that should be savored, but for me, most of the foods are just fuel. That's how I look at it. So, speaking of weight, last time I stepped on a scale, I was 92.5 in the middle of May, so we're not even 2 months in. I was 102.9 May 15th. I did not weigh myself this morning because we went out of town yesterday, and I kind of admit that I indulged, but that's why I'm doing this. I'll weigh myself tomorrow. So I was 92.5 from 102.9. I'm thinking 87 might be a good number for me. We'll see. But basically, I'm doing the same thing. My diet is called the Common Sense Diet. It doesn't have a fancy name. It's not keto. It's not paleo. It's not the carnivore diet. It's not whatever, the ancestral diet. Any of those things. It's not intermittent fasting. It's not 1 meal a day. It's none of that. It's just making better choices that are sustainable. That's the key word. I have a new training client. Very excited. He lost 26 kilograms in 2 months and then put it all back on. And I said to him, don't even tell me. You tried one of these diets. Oh, yeah, I did the keto. Every time. Boink. Every time. Yeah, they work for you, but losing weight too fast is not a good thing. You know why? Because your body is adaptable. When you lose a lot of weight, your body takes on this fight or flight attitude. And it says, oh, I don't want to lose all of this. And it adapts, and all of a sudden the weight that you were losing before easily, you stop losing. So he said he's been on a plateau for multiple months. So first of all, I said, you got to get off one of those fat diets and get yourself a sustainable diet. And second of all, you got to reduce, no pun intended, you cannot lose that much and expect to keep it off. And expect to continue at that pace. Theoretically, nobody should be really losing more than a pound a week. That's a great number, a pound and a half a week. I'm around the pound and a half range, maybe stretching to 2, which is pushing it. But I eat 5 times a day. I have my egg whites in the morning. I train and have my protein shake, meal 2. I have lunch while I'm at work. I have a 3 o'clock meal. I have dinner. What are we up to already? So, and then sometimes after that, I'll have a little late night snack. But everything is as healthy as I can make it be, given where I live and the attitudes around here. But mostly all I've done is change or made better choices. I used to drink a lot of soda. Now I drink water. Except for my one protein shake, I'm either drinking water or coffee. Coffee, black coffee, by the way. That was the next part. I should have turned off my alarm. Sorry. Black coffee is a fat burner. So I switched from coffee with cream to black coffee. Yeah, it took a little getting used to, and I still don't like it, but it's a tool. Some people think I'm a tool. Different definition. So all of these things, making better food choices. Everything is in the air fryer now instead of frying it. And they fry everything here. Chicken breast, egg whites, all in the air fryer. I have a salad every day, but you know what? I used to put dressing on it. Now I just eat the vegetables as is. Is it a little plain? Yeah. But I'm used to it. As long as it's fresh, I'm okay with it. So, just making different choices. And someone, when I first started this, said, oh, well, that's not really sustainable. My answer is, why not? Why can't I sustain that? You know, you allow yourself a little bit of fun. Have a meal or two a week that you enjoy. Don't kick yourself about it. Just compensate. If you know you're going out to your favorite restaurant for dinner, then make some changes during breakfast and lunch. Or make some changes the next day if you don't know. Remember, it's all about calories in, calories out. If you're trying to lose weight, you need to be in a caloric deficit. You need to be losing, you need to be consuming less calories than you're expending. If you're trying to put on mass, then you need to be in a caloric surplus. You need to eat more than the energy that you're expending. But be careful, because that could turn to fat. In fact, it almost always will give you a little bit of fat. So you got to kind of find the blend in there. So I like to think of 20% as the good number either way, for either deficit or surplus. If you want to lose weight, drop 20% of your calories. If you want to gain mass, add 20% to your daily calorie intake. I was debating shaving before I did this, not because I'm vain, but because it itches and I'm uncomfortable. And I said no, and now I'm kind of regretting it, of course. Yes, I'm wearing the shirt inside out on purpose because I've been sweating in it today, and this is the last thing I'm going to do So I've had it off for a couple hours, and I just threw it on inside out. And then once I'm done here, I don't need it anymore for the remainder of the day. So I didn't want to waste a whole new shirt for a 30 or 45-minute session. So anyway, yesterday, we went to Vegan, which is in Ilocos Sur. We're in Ilocos Norte. Ilocos Sur, which means south, is the southern part of the province, obviously. And we went to their capital, Vegan, which is the where the immigration office is, the main office for the entire island of Ilocos. Actually, the island's called Luzon. I'm sorry. But it's the main. So we went down there to pick up my identification card so I can call myself a permanent resident. It's been a very involved process. It was hard enough to get permission to come into the country, and it was even harder to get permission to stay in the country. Every month I had to re-register for over a year. And then I was issued through multiple visits to multiple offices, including the local immigration, the Vegan office, the National Bureau of Investigation, fingerprinting, all of that. I was granted a probationary permanent resident, which kind of sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it? So I had to spend another year. This time I only had to go to immigration like once every 3 months. But that expired on June 26th, to be exact, my wife's birthday. And we went to Vegan now. So again, I'm a permanent resident for 5 years. And I think I have to do like an annual check-in or something. So again, a little play on the word permanent there. And then the guy was saying, well, if you get into any trouble, we can revoke it at any time if anyone has any complaints about you. It didn't really sound like there was any due process involved with that, which didn't make me feel comfortable. But I'm not a troublemaker, at least not when it comes to authority figures. Yeah, school principals, yeah, I've had some issues with them, both as a student and as a teacher, but not where I would ever have the police called on me or anything. Except for that one time my school didn't renew my visa like they were supposed to, and I did spend 2 days in the police station. Thanks a lot, Abbey School. And then I had to pay the fine afterwards, and I didn't get paid for those 2 days of teaching. So, yeah. Steve, how come you're not in China anymore? Shit like that. So, what else is going on? Pivot. P-I-V-F-I-T. That is the name of the company that I'm interviewing for a position as an online trainer in an in-house situation. They only deal with businesses who have people who want to train in the workplace. I've had 2 interviews, and then I had to send them a video of my training area. And I was told that I would be doing a demo class next, but I haven't heard from them in about 3 days or so. They're busy, I get it. And I'm fighting every urge not to reach out to them and say, hey, what's going on? Because I've done that with so many things, and it almost always backfires on me. So I'll wait for them to contact me. It's an interesting thing because all of the clients are already there for you. They're all people who work together, and I will be training them either in large groups, small groups, or even one-on-one. But they were saying that it's an 8-hour day or a 9-hour day with a 1-hour break, and I don't know if I have that kind of energy to teach all of those lessons straight, in which I'm participating as well. I don't want to overtrain. And also, I believe most of these companies are situated in America. 12-hour difference, depending on, anywhere from 12 to 15, depending on where they are in the country, which time zone. So that would mean that, to the best of my knowledge, I need to have this clarified. But I would have to be teaching at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. my time. But just the prospect of being a full-time trainer sounds like a great thing to me. And also I'm also wondering what kind of facilities do they have? If they have a gym, great, but if I have a class of 10 to 12 or whatever the number is, how can they all use the same machine at the same time? Which is why I suggested to them that resistance bands is really the way to go in that situation, because everyone could train at the same time, and I'm an expert in it. And they said, oh yeah, we plan to use that a lot. So I don't know. I mean, I hope I get it. We did not discuss salary, and that's one of the things I mentioned in a lot of job interviews, is that the salary is the least concern of mine. Just pay me regularly, pay me fairly, and I'm happy. I'm not going to try and gouge anyone or negotiate for more. I do believe they said there was a part-time option available as well. I think the best thing for me would be to start full-time, prove my worth, and then renegotiate my schedule. But we'll see. We shall see. Speaking of online training, I am still very proud to be on the staff of 99C.fit, in which you can watch hundreds of videos that I've uploaded, full-length workouts, full explanations, no frills. Workouts can be anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes to more. It's whatever. I've never believed in timing the workout. The session's over when the workout's done, whether it's for 99C.fit, Pivot, my own online personal training. I'm not a psychiatrist who's going to throw you out after your hour's up. That's just not how I do it. Unless I have another appointment, I'm not going to screw them over either. So 99C.fit, I don't want to describe the system too much because they're undergoing some massive user-friendly changes. But the basic concept is that you pay 99 cents per view, and you can get a full-length workout, which you can watch repeatedly as much as you want, in a 6-hour window, I believe. I could be wrong. And there's dozens of trainers. I'm hardly the only one. So you can bounce around and see whose style you like the best. Maybe you like a few and you want to, depending on what kind of workout. And that's the other thing too. My focus is weightlifting and strength. But there are people there who focus on yoga, on cardio, on HIIT, on boxing, injury rehab, workouts for women, prenatal, everything. Pilates, spinning, everything. And whatever else you can think of. Because I can't think of it because I've been doing this for 18 minutes and 30 seconds. So you can train from all of us, but there's so many changes that they have that are going to make it even more attractive than it already is. Including, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say this, but making 2 free videos available to every potential client. Just so you can get a feel of what we have. But there's going to be giveaways, there's going to be discounts, there's going to be, well, we already have free previews. We already have a free resources library where you can view videos on everything. Shorter workouts that we don't feel comfortable charging you full price, but we want you to get your money's worth. Product reviews, life philosophies, diet and nutrition advice, everything again. So all of that's from 99C.fit. When the changes are made official, I know that because they send us an email once a week and let us know where they stand. It's a work in progress. Things are happening as I speak. They just haven't been finalized. Speaking of training, I also do my private online training still. And that's interactive through whatever not streaming, but I don't know the right term. Skype, Zoom, FaceTime, Facebook Messenger, whatever way you wish to communicate. I don't have WhatsApp right now, but I can get it if that's required. Google Hangouts or Meetups, whatever you're comfortable with, that's what we can train on. So what about my workouts? Great question. Every single client that I have has a different workout. Why? Because they all have different goals, they have different bodies, they have different experience levels. So how can I give them all the same workout? Oh, that's right, so many trainers do that. You know why? Because either they're lazy or that's the only workout they really know. I have a 40-question survey, I believe it is. I'll count the questions if you need me to. In which I ask you a bunch of questions about your fitness experience, your goals, your objectives, previous experiences, health conditions, what you eat, what your lifestyle is. And then based on those answers that you provided me so kindly, I might add, I design an individualized workout for you. I keep saying no copy and paste for me or my clients. I provide you weekly updates and a monthly report card. I'm available 24/7 if you have any fitness-related questions. The only time that I can't answer you is if I'm training somebody else. Otherwise, I'm yours. My rates are reasonable. Right now, my schedule is still very flexible. It's going to depend on this pivot thing. So, I'm not going to take on too many more clients. I'm going to be comfortable at somewhere between 6 to 8 for now, and just give everyone my full attention. Any more than that, and it's going to take away from everyone, including myself. So definitely consider that before I shut that opportunity down. I'm also working on my third book. It's just about finished. I was going to finish it today, but my the keyboard, the separate, it's a Bluetooth keyboard that I use with my iPad. The batteries died today. Otherwise, I would have been finished editing it today. I've had this for over 3 years. This is the first time I've ever had to change the batteries. I'm still using, up until just now, the batteries that came with it. So that's a pretty good deal. And more often than not, I forget to turn it off, so it's always on. So that's really pretty cool that it lasted this long. I thought it could be broken because my granddaughter likes to pound on it, and I'd rather her pound on a replaceable Bluetooth keyboard as opposed to the iPad, which is already cracked, by the way. Speaking of books, my other two books, my professional wrestling book and my fitness book, which is more applicable to those of you watching this video, I would assume, are available on Amazon. Just look me up. Or if you can't find it, message me and I will give you the links. Okay. What else? Resistance bands, resistance bands, resistance bands. Yes, 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 yes. I represent two different resistance bands company with clear conscience because there is no conflict of interest. One is a super heavyweight band, Toro bands. They begin at 40 pounds of resistance, go up to 80. You can combine them all together. You can get up to 350 pounds of resistance. They're durable as hell. The handles are high quality. They are heavy handles. I have to be careful not to drop them because they make such a loud noise, or let them go and smash the door, even worse. So I've got to be careful with that. So I really enjoy those. But when the weights are that heavy, or the bands simulate weight that heavy, there are gaps. So I always have to combine my Toro Band resistance bands with another one, and I use NQ Sports bands for that. If I want to go up 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20, 25, 30, those are the bands that I use. I don't want to always jump 40 or 50 pounds from exercise set 1 to set 2. I don't want to do that. I like to practice gradual progressive overload. And NQ Sports has got every variety. So many things. They have the tube bands, just like Toro bands are the tube style. They have the loops. They have the Pilates bands. They have the yoga bands. They have everything though. They have the rehab bands, Swiss ball, wrist straps, jump ropes. What was today that they were advertising? Today they were advertising some skateboards. So they've got everything. How are we doing on time? 26 minutes. I still haven't decided if I'm doing 30 or 45 today. Cardio, you need to get in 150 minutes a week. You can add minimum 3 years to your life if you can do that. Sounds like a win-win for me. And I'm not talking about crazy cardio. I'm talking about moderate intensity. This is what I'm doing. MISS. Moderate intensity steady state is what MISS stands for. I'm not doing high interval. I'm not going as fast as I can. It's unnecessary. In fact, while you may lose more fat that way, you're also going to lose muscle. And that's something that I've worked way too hard. Perfect transition. I love when that happens. I love it when a plan comes to fruition. Today I finished my 3rd workout in my brand new hybrid workout. I combined the best of free weights with the best of resistance bands based on the equipment that I have and the most efficient way of doing it. When I used to do free weights only and I would do chest, it would take me over 2 hours. When I did it with only resistance bands, it took me less than 1 hour. By combining the two, I finished the first session of chest and triceps in an hour and a half. So I added an extra 30 minutes to the resistance band part, but I deducted 30 minutes from the free weight part. And granted, that was the first time I've done it, so there was some glitches that I had to remove, and I did waste a little bit of time recording things and checking my phone. And part of the process is that everything is set up the night before. In fact, when I get off of this, I'll set up for tomorrow's chest and tricep workout because the week is rolling around. But being unsure of what weights to use, because I've been using resistance bands exclusively for the last 10 months, I didn't set up the dumbbells because I didn't know how much I could bench press. But now that I have a better idea, I can set the dumbbells up and basically everything will be ready to go as soon as I finish the previous thing. The things that aren't ready, it's a method of deconstruction, which when I'm, for example, if I'm taking weights off of the Easy Curl bar, I'm facilitating a smoother transition to the next exercise that has a lighter weight on the same bar, or I'm facilitating cleaning up because I won't need these weights for the remainder of the workout. So, what I'm trying to say is that any changes that I make are not repetitive, and they serve a purpose. The worst is when you take off all those weights and then you have to put them back on again. Once I take them off, they're off. I may use other weights, and I definitely do use other weights, but there's nothing more I hate than taking the big plates off of the barbell itself and having the imbalanced bar fall or almost fall. And I have a bad shoulder, so it's hard for me to lift the heavy weight all the way up, like if I'm doing squats or shoulder presses. So to do it more than once per session is not something I look forward to. I used to be able to do it with one hand, but because of my shoulder, I can't do that. So with one hand, I'm supporting the bar, on the other hand, I'm putting it up. But right now, it's just a trust thing. I'm kind of throwing it on quick and grabbing it before it has a chance to topple over. But maybe next time my reflexes won't be as quick. I'm 56 years old. Sometimes my reflexes are slow. That's just the way it is. Sorry. So then the next day, I did back and biceps with the back set up with the bent over rows. The bar was already set with the weight on it as soon as I walked into the gym in the morning. And that's important to me because sometimes it's so early in the morning now. In fact, I do this an hour earlier just to give myself enough time. So now I'm training at 7 in the morning as opposed to 8 or 8:30. It's easy to say, you know what? It's too much work to set it up. I'm not even going to bother. But if it's already set up for me the night before, I'll follow through. I always have. Any excuse, any potential excuse that you can eliminate, go for it. I highly recommend it. So, workout number 2, I did the bent over rows. And then from there, the remainder of the back exercises were with the lateral pull down attachment. So I did the lateral pull downs, and then I did I just learned the name of this. I've been doing it for years. I always called it an underhand pull down, but they call it a close grip pull down. And then I switched to the high cable row. I could have done a seated row, but my bar doesn't have that kind of a pulley where I can change the height of it. I could have done it with resistance bands, but that's what I've done for the last 10 months, so I just wanted to change it up. So I'm doing the high cable rows. What's the difference between a pull down and a row? A pull down helps you increase width. A row helps you increase thickness. So I like to have 2 and 2 in this case. Oh, that's another thing with this exercise, because I've been studying some old school Joe Weider videos, and they do 4 sets. I used to do 4 sets, but then I dropped down to 3, thinking that perhaps I was overtraining. And I was doing 3 sets per exercise, two muscle groups per day. So I was doing 3 sets for chest, let's say, and 3 sets for triceps. Well, in the Joe Weider tapes, they're doing 4 and 4. So I changed that. Let's see how that works for 6 months. So I think that's an increase. I figured this out before. Let's see. 8 reps. 8 plus 12. An extra 20 sets per workout or so. My math might be wrong. I think it was like 18. Whatever. Doesn't matter. So let's see if I'm able to maintain that, and let's see if it's not too much. Because don't forget, later in the evening, I'll either do my cardio or my abs, and then right before I go to bed, I do my feeder sets. And I've been a little lax with those lately. So starting tonight, I'll focus on it a little bit more. What is feeder sets? They are sets that you do before you go to bed on whatever muscle group you're prioritizing. Lightweight, astronomical amount of reps. So my favorite feeder set, and I rotate them, is triceps into biceps. And I do that for 2 months. I switch and do another muscle group for a month, and then I go back to triceps into triceps for another 2 months, another muscle group for a month. So every other month, so to speak, I am doing the arms, and I'm definitely happy with the results. So what I do is, and you can do any exercise you want. I do it with the bands, the lightest bands I have, neutral grip press downs. I do 100 reps, excuse me. And then I quickly switch to hammer curls and I do 50 reps. So it's 100 triceps, 50 biceps, and I do that 3 times in a row with extremely little rest. The only rest I take is to switch from one exercise to the other and back. But now I'm using 2 separate bands, so it picks it up even more. And then you go to sleep with a nice pump. Your muscles are filled with protein and blood for the rest of the night, and I really enjoy it. So you can see where overtraining might come into play for me. But you know what? I just love it. I love it. There's some guy, I don't mean to be disrespectful, John Anderson is his name. He's a big, muscular social media influencer. Apparently he wrestled in New Japan for a while. I've seen the videos, but I really never noticed him then. I wasn't watching it then, and I've only recently heard of him now. But the he's about 50. I'm 56. And he reached out to me and tried to sell me his system. Let's call a spade a spade. That's okay, though. He's in business. He's trying to make customers. That's fine. And he sent me this theory about how to reduce your time in the gym. And a lot of it made sense. A lot of it also sounded like mumbo jumbo to me. Not saying it is, but I don't want to work out based on science. I want to work out on old school methods. But anyway, the premise was it'll get you out of the gym sooner, and then you can go on with the rest of your day. Well, I'm retired and I love being in the gym, so that's not necessarily an attractive offer to me. I'm sure some people will benefit greatly from this, but once I leave the gym, all I'm thinking about is what's my next workout, what am I going to do, what am I going to try. So if I'm not in the gym, I'm thinking about the gym. So I don't need any help getting out of there faster. Thanks, John. I will support you. I will share your posts, but it's just not the thing that I'm looking for. And I don't doubt that it works, but I'm getting some good results on my own. So I'm going to stick with the tried and true theories from 1960 on to 1990. And just keeping on. So I did the back, I said, and then I went into biceps, and that was a little experimental. I'm not going to lie to you. There's something. I just bought the Easy Curl bar a couple weeks ago, but all of this stuff I bought in advance, but didn't use it until these workouts. Now I did use the Easy Curl bar the day before with the tricep, the seated overhead extensions. But this time I used the, I used it 3 times. I did the Easy Bar curls, standing, and then I tried spider curls for the first time. I've been seeing them on videos for a long time, and finally got the opportunity to try that. I didn't think I could do it with the weight bench setup that I have, but then I was watching myself doing a video. Actually, I wasn't really paying attention to it. I was just doing a play all on YouTube, hoping that would help my rates, but I don't think it does anything. I think they know. I think they're smarter than me. And I saw something and I went, ooh, wait a minute, I see something. Not only was it not related to spider curls, it wasn't even an arm exercise, but I said, ooh. There's a little bit of my bench that hangs over the supports. So if I can lay the Easy Curl bar across it, that'll vanquish the problem that I had. The problem was that I wasn't tall enough to pick the curl bar off of the floor with the weights on it, get into the position on the bench. So I figured if I can balance it across the top of the bench, leaning into the support, and it worked. Now, my bench, in order to be in an inclined position, it has its own pole that it rests against. So when I do the spider curls, that pole is in the back of my triceps. But I think that's good because I think it's isolating the biceps. I don't think I'm using any back or anything else, which is a problem for some people when they're doing bicep curls. So I think that's a blessing in disguise. And then from there, I turn around and I do the preacher curls with the same easy bar. The only problem with that, well, it's a similar problem, is that when you go to a gym and you have the easy bar setup, you have a support rack where you can put the weight when you're done. I don't have that. So I've got to pick it up off the floor, turn sideways, straddle the bench with the weight here, drape my elbows over, and then do my set. So I kind of have a thing pictured in my mind. My neighbor's a welder, so if I can get a translator, because he doesn't speak much English, I'm trying to think of something, because the problem is I have the leg extension attachment, and I can't take that off. So what I was thinking of is if you could drill a hole through the bracket, and then we have something with kind of like a stirrup kind of thing. I don't know what I'm talking about, so forgive me. That I can put it over, put the bolt in to hold it in place, and then it has like a Y shape to it, where I can put the easy curl bar in. Now the reason why I need that bolt, wow, that's the biggest friggin' spider that I've ever seen that's not a peck. Wow. I'll stay on the bike for a little bit. Because if I can't leave it there all the time. Because then I can't do my leg extensions or my seated leg curls. The other problem is that I guess I needed to have some kind of a release on it, because if it's standing like this, I can't do the preacher curls without hitting it. So like if I pick it up and then it just flaps over, that's asking a lot, isn't it? I mean, I just gotta suck it up, I guess. I can always switch to dumbbells, right? So today was shoulders and legs for the first time. And I wasn't sure how to do the shoulder press, because I wanted to be in that same position for the squats. I don't want to have to move that big barbell 2 or 3 times. Because I use it for the military press, squats, and calf raises that are not consecutive exercises. So what I figured out was that if I put it on the top support, which that same neighbor built me an extension, and then just take a lawn chair, a patio chair, a plastic patio chair, I can pick it up standing up, get it on my shoulders or across my chest, sit down, and then do my set. Standing up, I'm afraid it's too much back, but seated, I feel much better. And then from there, my plan was to do dumbbell lateral raises, but the dumbbells were a little heavier than I expected. And part of the problem is that I didn't take into account is when I use resistance bands, the weight that I see, first of all, is probably less, but second of all, it's cut in half because you're using 2 hands. So when you're doing a 20-pound band, as opposed to a 20-pound dumbbell, which translates to 40 pounds, right? 20 times 2. Didn't think of that. So I just went back to the bands for that. It's more important for that particular exercise to have the proper form and technique than to overwhelm yourself with resistance. It's a small muscle, and you're going to hurt it if you overdo it. But I did use the dumbbells for the next exercise, which was the reverse lats. I tried it sitting, and I didn't like it. So then I tried it standing with like a 90 degree bend, and it was much better. I think I can go heavier next time. The Weider method said I should do 10 reps for every set. Well, I'm doing 12 because I'm trying to determine weight. So if I could do 12 this week, then next week I could go heavier and do 10. That's how my brain works. progressive overload. That's the key to building muscle. To me, it's the most important principle. More important than range of motion, more important than time under tension. To me, progressive overload is all of those are important, but this is the most important in my book. And then, since I needed a fourth exercise, I could have done front raises, but it's repetitive if you're doing this, so it's not necessary. So I decided to do a trap exercise, with the two choices pretty much being shrugs or upright rows. Shrugs I couldn't do because that barbell was up high for the legs, so I didn't want to have to take it down. I could do it with a different bar, now that I think about it. I do have a 4-foot bar as well, so that's what I'll do next time. Because the upright rows I did with the Easy Curl bar, but I think shrugs are better overall because I can get a lot more weight on it. Yeah, I'll use the 4. See, that's why I do videos like this. I needed that time. And then we moved on to legs. And I did the squats. I had my legs narrower than I normally do because I wanted to focus on quads. When I do that, I cannot bend as low. I'm still going beyond seated position, so I'm happy with that. But does my butt come close to the ground? No. If I were to do it wider and focus more on the hamstrings, I could go significantly lower. But this is about muscle building. It's not about powerlifting. I don't care how much weight I'm lifting. I don't care how low I go to the ground. I'm not waiting for a judge's approval. So I did my 4 sets of squats. And then I moved on to the leg extension. And from there I moved to the lying leg curl. Now those two exercises are interesting because all of the weight goes on a single bar extending forward from the support. Unfortunately, the bar is maybe this long, so there's only a limited amount of weights that you can put on it. The weight bench that I bought came with these plastic weights that were really, really thick. I've added 20-pound plates, which it didn't come with. 15 was the heaviest it came with. It was 15, 10. I think that was it. Yeah, there was no 5 pounds. So it came with 4 15-pound weights and 2 10-pound weights, and that's it. So now I have 4 20 pounds. The 4 15 that came with it, the 2 10 plus I bought 2 more 10s, and now I have 4 5s. So you have to be kind of like you're playing Jenga or something. You gotta get the right weights, and that's gonna mean that I'm gonna have to take off from the squat rack. But as long as I leave something on for the calves, I'll be okay. Because I want to use those 20s first because they take up less space than the 15s. And the 10s that I bought take up less space than the 10s that they provided. And that's important. I'm going to run out of space soon. I'm going to run out of space for the pull downs even sooner. So that's when I'm going to have to blend the resistance bands into that exercise. I'm going to have to wrap them around and underneath and blah, 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 blah. But it's just going to get to a point where I can't put any more weight on it very soon. So I did those 2 sets, and then I did barbell calf raises. I need to get the feel for it, or I might go back to the resistance bands. At the end of Sunday is my next leg workout. So if I don't feel that same resistance that I do with the bands, then I'm going to go back to the bands, and then that would eliminate some of the weight problems, by the way, too. So overall, it took a little bit longer than I planned, but it is more effective, it's more efficient. There were a couple changes I didn't anticipate, but working through it. That's why I haven't recorded any of these. Once I feel a little more comfortable with the execution of the entire workout as a whole, I will record it. Also, it's just so hot that I'm training without a shirt, and I don't want to have any of you have to endure that until I hit my goal weight anyway. Wow, we've been going for, okay, we just passed the 50-minute mark, so I think that's pretty good. I think that's good. I'll have a shower, and then I'll have an egg white omelet. Now I'm ready for bed. Now you have to wait for the awkward moment when I step off the bike and have to go and turn off the video.